What is going on, IF Warriors? So today we're going to talk about water fasting. And I know you guys probably don't want me to talk about this, but this is a topic that is interesting and needs to be touched on, especially year after year as we get studies coming in. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and talk about some water fasting. Now, I see that there's a lot of interest with you guys when it comes to water fasting. I get asked this question a lot. What do I think about water fasting? This channel talks a lot about intermittent fasting, and there's a natural extension to other fasting methods like water fasting in terms of the people's interests when it comes to fasting in general, right? So they want to know, what do I think? Well, here's what I think about water fasting. Now, the thing with water fasting is that there isn't that much information out there. There have been medically supervised studies, one done in 2021, another one done in 2022. The one in 2021 was middle-aged men, about 12 middle-aged men that did water fasting for a few days. Their biomarkers seemed normal. They did not seem like there was anything wrong with them during the study. Another study in 2022 was done with more participants. There was a mixture of men and women. They did it for 10 days. And also, again, biomarkers seemed normal. Weight obviously dropped because you're not eating. Weight is going to drop. But that's kind of it. There's not many studies. There's another one in there as well that was done a while back, but they're not that many out there. And most of them are case studies or non-controlled studies, which means they didn't compare it to someone else, right? They didn't compare it to somebody just doing caloric restriction, which obviously there was going to be weight loss with the water fasting group, but you could also measure lean mass loss. How much lean mass was lost with the water fasting group versus the just caloric restriction group, for example, or an intermittent fasting group, right? So some sort of control group. There wasn't any for any of these studies. But also, there wasn't so much of an understanding of what happens after the fact, right? After a water fast, do they regain that weight back much easier because there was a lack of food for such a long time? So those are the things that matter to me. The longevity of weight loss, the consistency of keeping off the weight. Because to me, weight loss is actually pretty easy. And I don't want to say that to sound condescending, but most of you, probably everyone here, has lost weight. Have you lost the amount of weight that you want to lose? No, but that's not because of weight loss. That's because of weight regain. You might lose a certain amount of weight and then gain a certain amount of weight, then repeat the process. What I think water fasting helps to do is it helps push you in that direction of losing weight and regaining weight, because it is a stint or something that you're doing for a short period of time. Eventually, you will have to eat. Eventually, you will have to be eating more consistently, because just eating, fasting for so long is unsustainable in the sense that your nutrients and stuff, you're not going to have that. It's going to be more difficult for you. So you're not going to be able to just water fast infinitely. There's going to be periods where you have to stop and you have to eat. So how sustainable is the water fasting process? Over time, it's difficult. In the moment, it may feel like it's the right thing to do because you're seeing the weight come off, which obviously 0 calories coming in, all you're doing is putting calories out, burning calories. You're not consuming anything. So you're going to lose weight. But how much of that weight is just body fat is anyone's guess. There's going to be a mixture of lean mass as well as body fat, as we've seen in the studies. I understand that you guys, follow certain doctors that tell you no, this is just fat because fat is made to burn and muscle is made to. I get it. Yes, for a short period of time within an intraday fast, you're going to be burning predominantly fat. But at a certain point, your body has to oscillate because your brain can only take ketones for 70% of its energy. Your brain actually prefers glucose. You've deprived it of glucose, so it will make its own glucose. And no, it's not going to make its own glucose using your body fat. It's going to make it using muscle tissue. So please keep in mind that muscle tissue will go, and that is a really strong driver for your metabolic rate, which can help you in the long run the more you retain and build muscle. So that's something you don't want to lose, but that's something that you will more than likely lose with a water fast, because you're not providing your body with protein, you're not providing your body with calories. Those things are needed to facilitate muscle growth. Plus, you're breaking down muscle to replace via the process called glucose neogenesis. So when it comes to water fast, if you're just trying to lose weight for one specific moment, you're gonna do that. If you're trying to lose weight continuously and because that's what you have to do to get to your goal, it's a continuous process. You have to find something that you fit perfectly in, that works for you, and just do that over and over and over again. And water fasting, just by its very nature, does not allow you to pull that off, because you will have to stop eating. When looking at those studies, those 3 studies that have come out with medically supervised water fasts, 50% of the participants dropped out, which is a dramatically high dropout rate for a study. Now, they were feeling stuff like nausea and heart palpitations and back pains and stuff. They were getting all of these different reasons for why they stopped, but there was a certain panic, and for a lot of them, 50%, half of the participants decided not to continue the study, which is also telling. When looking at something like intermittent fasting, the majority of the participants completed. If it's a 16-hour fast for 2 months or for 3 months or for however 6 months, they complete it. The majority completed. The dropout rate is no higher than if you were to compare it to a normal caloric restriction diet dropout rate. It's a normal dropout rate where people, for the most part, can hang and do some intermittent fasting and lose a lot of weight in the process without sacrificing so much in terms of the fluctuations of your body and even the fear or the worry of the refeeding process, because that is the most dangerous process when it comes to prolonged water fast. Once you get into the 10-day range, you are in a serious amount of danger for the refeeding process. You have to be incredibly careful, because the change, the massive swing and fluctuation of the fluids and electrolytes that's going to come into your body when you start eating can cause major complications. So my advice to you is if you want to do water fast, know what you're actually going to get out of it. You're going to get short-term weight loss, not so different from normal weight loss that you've gotten before, with the incredibly enhanced possibility of weight regain, considering that you can't just continuously replicate a water fast in a healthy way. When you have to start eating, what's going to happen then? You can't just eat one day and then go back to another 20-day water fast, eat another day and then go back to a 15-day water. it's going to be incredibly unsustainable because you're not going to be getting your nutrients and all of those different things that you need for your body on a consistent basis. My plight to you guys is find something that you could do on a consistent basis and stick to that. Water fasting will make you lose weight. Yes. If you're only focusing on the visual elements of weight loss, it will make you lose weight. You will lose more muscle than in any other diet system because you're not refeeding protein. You're not doing any of those things that help facilitate muscle growth or muscle retention. Your body's going to be switching from ketones to glucose periodically. It's gonna oscillate between the two, and it's the one that carries the most danger out of any of the other diet systems because of the refeeding process. So, do you need to water fast? No. If you water fast, do you lose weight? Absolutely. Have people been able to lose weight without water fasting? Yes. Is weight loss necessarily the problem? No. Weight regain is. And that's going to still be an issue when doing water fast after you break your water fast and try to move into a different system. Because I've heard this a lot. I'm going to water fast, and it's just to get to a certain point, then I'm going to get back to, you're going to regain your weight. I've said this time and time again. Weight regain is the issue. Most people can lose weight. Most people cannot keep the weight off. Hopefully this video has helped you guys and shine some light on the scientific data that we have on prolonged water fast. I know that you guys have had a lot of questions on this, so hopefully this helps and it shows you my position on water fasting. Do I think it's the craziest thing in the world? No. Do I think it's necessary? Absolutely not. Until the next one, guys, this is Edward from Fledge Fitness. Peace out.